If you're struggling to get clients from social media, it's because you're stuck on one of two paths. Path one is posting without consistency, but not in the way that you think about consistency. You're showing up and posting, but your message is literally all over the place and you can't stay on track with what you do and who you help. Path two is posting without a system. So you can't decide if you should post videos, photos, written content, and you're also struggling to figure out which platforms actually matter. And every week, it just feels like you're starting from scratch. If you're on either one of these paths, this video is going to completely change everything that you know about creating leads and sales from social media. After generating 7 figures in revenue myself from social media over the past 10 years without paying for ads, I'm taking what I've learned about long form video content, short form video, Facebook, YouTube, and packaging it into this masterclass training for your business. Here's what we're going to be covering. First off, we are going to talk about the 6-component framework, and that's what I'm going to get into first. Then after that, we're going to talk about how this course actually works, right? And then section 1, we're going to talk about your audience. And this one is very important because you simply cannot speak to every single person that's on the internet. And most business owners fall into that trap, unfortunately. Section 2, we're going to talk about your voice. This is how you show up. This is what you say, what you sound like, what you stand for, what you stand against, all of those things that start to make up you as a business owner and how you show up online to your potential client. Section 3, we're going to talk about content and video. And in my opinion, video is the #1 differentiator that you can use in your business today that's going to help you stand out from everyone else, right? If you're a landscaper and there's 40 other landscapers within 10 miles and no one's doing video except for you, you will inherently stand out. So video is crucial in this. Section 4, we're going to talk about platforms, and we're going to focus on finding one platform for you. I talk mainly about YouTube and Facebook. Instagram is like a third in line with there. So YouTube and Facebook, YouTube for long form content, Facebook for staying in touch with your current clients, people that already know you that can refer you business. And then section 5, we're going to talk about something that I absolutely love, which is creating community. And I have extensive experience and knowledge doing this, especially through Facebook groups. That's, in my opinion, the best way to create a community. And then 6, it's the execution. It's how you show up on a consistent basis and do this day after day and week after week and month after month for years. I'm not trying to figure out a one and done situation or strategy, right? This is how you're going to be able to show up for years. And then at the end, we're going to talk about putting it all together. We're going to look at a 30-day launch plan. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what's next. So before I dive into this, if you want to follow along with the worksheet that I created for you for this specific training, just click the link in the description and download it now. So as I outlined earlier, this is the 6-component framework. #1 is the audience. #2 is your voice. #3 is the content. 4 is the platform that you're going to focus on. 5 is creating community. And 6 is actually doing the damn work. And here is what's so important about this. And I don't want you to just gloss over this. Strategy without tactics is slow, right? This is a very slow process, but tactics without strategy is simply chaos. And we can't do everything at once. We can't figure out everything that we're going to do in one sitting. Social media is so much about trial and error. And not enough people talk about that. They always say like, oh, you can create this strategy, you can do this, you can do that, and then you can just run with it and it's going to work. And that's simply not how it works. It is so much about trial and error. But most business owners, they fail to realize that you need a framework, you need a strategy, whatever you want to call it. And you need to figure out what is going to work and then what doesn't work. And it sounds simple, but I really want to get that in your mind moving forward. You need a strategy, coupled with the tactics in order to really figure out, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And this is how I'm going to actually get leads for my business from social media. So how this course is going to work is very simple. The first thing is you learn. Each section, we are going to touch on one of the 6 components, and you're going to be able to follow along with the worksheet and fill it out as we go. And then you're going to have your strategy built at the end of this. Second thing is you need to apply the strategy, because when you have questions to answer for your business, that's what you create content about. And when you have questions to answer for your potential clients, that is what you are able to create content about. So the first step is always learning. And it's difficult if you haven't started, but if you have some experience and you've been trying content for a while and you don't have the strategy, now you're going to be able to learn a strategy and then you're going to be able to apply it. And the third step is build. Walk away with a complete strategy. You can literally sit down, give yourself a couple hours, go through this, take your time, and you're going to walk away with a full strategy that you can literally use tomorrow. You can take a couple hours, build a strategy, use it tomorrow to start creating content that's actually going to drive leads. Because I'm not talking about creating content just for views. I'm not talking about creating content that is going to go viral. Like, that shit is not for business owners for the most part. Our job as business owners is to generate leads and sales for our business, right? Like, that is in essence what we do. We generate leads and sales, and whatever service business you're in, you then have to fulfill on that. But the main thing with marketing is, how do I get more people to call me, to DM me, to book an appointment with me? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about right now. So section 1, we are going to focus on your audience and who you are really talking to. So when it comes to figuring out your audience and who you're talking to, most people have always been of the mindset of, okay, I'm going to think demographically, right? So age, location, income, male, female, they live in this area, they have this specific job title, they're married, divorced, single, right? Like, it's surface level data. And that's okay too, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But for years and decades, marketers focus just on the demographics. And what happens when you're creating content for social media, if all you do is look at the demographics, which is surface level data, you're going to get surface level content. So what I've learned over the years is to take it further. You take it a little bit further with psychographics. And this is one of the most important things that you can do when you're figuring out your audience, your ideal person that you want to talk to, the community of people that you want to reach and then build with. So a few things when it comes to psychographics, and this is just a few, is what keeps them up at night. If you're a landscaper, think about it like this. What is your ideal person thinking about when springtime is upon them, right? And they realize, like, oh my gosh, I have this half acre. Like, they've been living with this fear of spring coming around and the crabgrass coming up and all the stuff they have to do. They have the half acre yard, right? Like, they bought the house thinking, like, this is amazing. My kids and my dogs can run around, but then they have to actually fulfill on dealing with it. And I'm actually speaking from experience, right? Like, I'm that person. So what keeps me up at night is, like, I look outside, I'm like, oh man, the crabgrass is going to start coming up soon. I'm going to have to start, feeding the soil and doing this and that, like all this shit that I don't want to think about, right? And the second thing is what they've tried that's actually failed, right? And like, I've hired 2 companies to try and help me. And I have 2 dogs, right? So they pee and they poop all over the yard. And these companies, they just couldn't figure it out. And then I tried it myself. Like, I tried doing a subscription thing and it didn't work. And it was just too much, right? And like, all these things that go through my head. And, I would be the perfect person that if a landscaping company talked about those things, I'd be like, you can help me figure that out. Like, that's what like getting into the nitty gritty of psychographics and like why they choose you, or why would they choose you, right? Why choose you over everyone else? If you're speaking their language, if you're talking about the things that keep them up at night, that's what makes people buy. And this is so important for you to figure out when you're starting your journey of creating content on social media. Now, these are 5 questions that really matter. This is what helps you get to the root cause, right? Like in medicine, the traditional way that medicine is done is they treat an outcome and they don't really look at what the root cause is. And now there's a lot of functional doctors that will take a look at what the root cause is so it doesn't keep happening, so it doesn't keep coming back. And when we're creating content, we want to look at the root cause, right? Like we don't want to just say we do this, we do that, and hope people come to us. No, like what's number one? What's the real frustration underneath? What are people again? What are they thinking about when they go to sleep? What are they thinking about when they wake up? They take these kids to school. They come home. They see the grad, right? Like all these things. What are the real, true frustrations that are happening underneath that are bothering them every single day? Number two, what have they already tried that failed? And this happens all of the time. Like, what has your potential client tried that failed? If you're a financial advisor, think about it from the standpoint of, has your client tried to create a budget and they just didn't follow it because it was too confusing? They just didn't understand it. They do it for a week, they do it for 2 months, and they're just like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this, right? Like for the most part, you have people like me that will try a lot of these things and fail, and then they'll reach out to a professional. So you know this better than anyone. What has your client tried that failed, right? This is how you're going to really get a good understanding of who they are. What made them choose you over other people? There is something that made them choose you over everybody else. What that is, you know better than anyone. What's the transformation they experienced? I love this. This is so important and not a lot of people talking about it. Transformation and being able to show that, document that, like my client went from 50 pounds overweight to losing 45 pounds, 5 pounds away from their goal in 90 days. They experienced this transformation. This is what they came to me feeling like. This is what they feel like now. That is important. And what's the moment they decided to reach out? Why did they get to that moment, right? Like all these questions, all these pieces of the psychographic that we're talking about when it comes to creating your audience and creating that ideal person that you want to talk about. Like when you answer these for your best clients, there will be a pattern that emerges, right? And you don't think about it unless you're aware of it. And now going through this, you're very well aware. Okay, this is how I'm going to figure out who my ideal person is. And generally, you've already worked with them. This happens all of the time. When I was a real estate agent, I helped almost 200 people buy, sell, and invest in real estate. But there was like a handful of people that I loved working with. And if all I could do was repeat with working with that person over and over and over again, I probably would have got out of the business, right? But here's the deal. There will be a pattern that emerges from this. So taking your time right here, and this is in the worksheet, your ideal client profile. What is their real problem? What are they struggling with? What keeps them up at night? And then you talk about the failed attempts, okay? They tried this, they tried that, didn't work. Why you? The trigger for them reaching out to you. This is the statement that you're going to create about your ideal person, and name them too. It's really important that you name them. Make them human, because we are dealing with other human beings, right? We're not dealing with AI robots. We're helping solve real problems for real people in your area. So give them a name. It's very important that you focus on that and make it human and make it realistic. And every time that you create a piece of content, you think about Harry, you think about Sally, you think about George, or whoever it is for you. Give them a name and make them real. Check, check. Check 1, 2, 2, 2. All right. We are still rolling. Now, section 2 is your voice. And this is all about finding your message. Your voice emerges from creating. And here's the thought process behind this. So many business owners think, oh, well, I'm going to figure out what to say and then start creating. I need to figure out all of these things. I need to put all this stuff in the way before I actually start creating. But the reality is that your voice and your message it emerges from creating content. So your voice has a lot to do with the following: your origin story. Where did you start? Why are you doing what you do? What things did you experience in your life that led you down this path? What are some of your beliefs? Like deep down, what do you truly believe about what you do, about who you're helping? What do you believe people get wrong about what you do? What do you believe that other people in your industry do wrong? And what do you actually stand for? Like integrity. What is that thing, whatever it is that's deep down in you? You're like, yeah, this is what I stand for. Look, for me, my origin story is like, I didn't come from any kind of money. I didn't have a lot of things growing up. I grew up in Northeast Philly, 4-person household in a 900 square foot home in a working class neighborhood. My dad was an iron worker. My mom stayed home for, the majority of our childhood and going into high school and all that. Like we got by, right? Like we didn't have vacations, we didn't have savings, we didn't have all these fancy cars. Like we just got by, right? And so much of what drives me now is like, I want to provide a life for my kids that I didn't have when I was growing up. I went on one vacation, one as a kid, and I was like 2 or 3, so I don't even remember it. So like vacations for me, like beliefs, you talk about belief systems, like giving my kids the ability to experience other places in the country, other places in the world. I value that so much you know? And what do I stand for? Like, I stand for being transparent and honest in everything that I possibly do because I lived a life before all this where I wasn't any of that. I was dishonest. I was deceiving, Like I'm a recovering addict with 17 years in recovery. Like that's a huge part of who I am. And what I stand for today is like I want to help other people experience all the joys and all the amazing things that I've experienced from being in recovery. Like it's a big part of who I am and what I stand for. And I try to bring that out in my content as much as possible. So take time right now to think about your origin story. Like, why did you start this career that you're in? Why are you doing what you do? Like, what is driving you to do everything, to wake up every single day and achieve these goals that you set for yourself? When I got it in real estate, I mean, I was at a point where my wife and I were thinking about having a family, and I was a chef for a long time, and it was 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And I wanted to make my own schedule. I wanted to have a little bit more freedom. I didn't realize that that's not what you get from being a business owner. But like, I got out of the kitchen and I wanted to start a career where I would be home more, right? So that's like a huge reason why I got into real estate. And that's where I learned social media. And that's what I've been practicing over the 10 years. And I started Clear Voice Media, this business now, because I've realized how much of a life-changing thing it is as a business owner to have social media skills and to generate leads without paying all this money for advertising. Think about what problem you were solving for yourself. Like that's important too. What were you trying to achieve? What were you trying to not go back to? What are some of the pivotal moments that shape how you work? For me, I had a very difficult, like actually like 3 or 4 years, towards the end of 2019, my dad died. Right after that, my wife got pregnant. We found out it was twins. We lost one of the twins. COVID happened. Then literally the next month, 3 months later, my wife was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer, and then we just lived years of treatment and surgery and chemo and radiation, right? Like all these things happened while I was a business owner, and those things shaped me to who I am today and what I stand for, right? Like all these things, like I'm still adding to my origin story. And that's why I want to do what I do, because like, again, I have this desire to help business owners with their social media because I know how valuable it is. I know how important it is to be home with your kids, at night and on the weekends, and to experience life with them, and to be able to go on vacations with them, and to be able to, go to my daughter's sweetheart dance at her dance class last night. Like all these things, like being a family man is so important to me. So, what are those moments that have shaped you over the years? And what do you believe that others get wrong? This is really important too. So much about your voice and your message is not just standing for what you believe, but also standing against what you don't believe. Like that's really important to think about as well. What are you standing against? What do people get wrong about your industry? What do people say that flat out like this is not true? Like this is absolute bullshit. Stand against things, right? Your origin story is your differentiator. It is literally the one thing that nobody else can copy. Nobody else experienced life the way you did. Nobody else went through the situations that you did the way you did. Nobody else on earth. That's your differentiator. Now, touching back on this, what you stand for and what you stand against. What you stand for is your non negotiable values, the things that you hold near and dear to you heart, that you're not going to go against just to get the sale, just to make more money, just to appease someone. Like, what are your non negotiable values? For me, a big thing is loyalty. Like, I am very loyal until the last moment, right? Like, I try to be, because I was disloyal for such a long time, you know? So, loyalty to me is huge. Family is huge for me. I'm not going to put myself in situations where I'm traveling all over the world to speak. And, I'm not going to do that because my family life is way too important to me. So I'm going to cater my business around my life and not the other way around. How you approach the work, like what do you do when it comes to work? Are you giving half-ass, efforts to get things done? Or are you going 110% no matter what clients need to understand? Like these are all things that you stand for. Your client needs to understand that you're going to show up. If you say you're going to get them the whatever your deliverable is in 48 hours, you're getting it to them in 48 hours, right? Like you're standing on what you say and what you believe. And then what do you stand against? And I love this. And I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. I do hear some people, but like, what are you standing against? Clients you don't want. You don't have to work with everyone. You literally don't have to work with them. There were so many people that I worked with as a real estate agent that I didn't want to work with. And it was just because I was trying to make more money and it made me miserable. And then eventually I started turning people down because they just weren't a good fit. And I'm like, I don't want to work with you. You don't embody any of the values that I would like, that I appreciate in my clients. I'm not going to work with you. Right. So what are industry practices that you reject? Do you reject cold calling because you know how intrusive it is and how much you hate it? Say that, right? Nobody likes cold calling. What are all the common misconceptions? You don't want it to be associated with things that are against your values and what you stand for. And people can fall into that trap very easily. Business owners can fall into that trap very easily. If you're doing some kind of campaign and you're collaborating with the local business who doesn't have a great reputation, is that what you want to connect your business with? You know what I mean? Do you want to be associated with this company, with this business, and that they don't have a good name, but they make money and they said they want to collaborate with you and they said they'll pay? Like, these are the things that you want to really think about when it comes to your voice. What do you stand for and what do you stand against? So take some time to go to your worksheet, write as much as you can, whatever comes to your mind, right? And you can always refine it later. And what I do is I do everything with AI. I do believe that it's good practice to put pen to paper and write. But at the same time, I understand like it's a pain in the butt, right? It's much easier to do it with AI, but take some time right now to just think about it, write it down, type it, whatever is easier for you. And then you can always come back to AI and help you refine it. Now we're getting into some of the best parts of this, and it's the content. It's what you're actually going to create, what to talk about, and how to deliver it. And as I mentioned earlier, video is the way that you're really going to differentiate yourself in 2026 and for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, because here's the reality. AI is here, right? And it's going to be very hard to distinguish between what's real and what's not. But if you're showing up on camera and putting your face in front of the camera like I'm doing right now, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So, this is the 2 to 3 topic rule. I want you to focus on 2 to 3 and not much more. Actually, don't do any more than 3 to start, right? You can go deep on these 3 topics. And what I mean by topics is this: if you are a dog trainer, your business is focused around helping dog parents train their dogs so that they're well behaved, they're not barking at everyone. And you want to think about what are 3 topics that you can talk about and rotate and go deep on and figure out, like, okay, I can create a content idea about this topic, and this topic. So think about a dog trainer. What do they do? Well, they train puppies. Okay. So that's topic number 1. That's the overarching thing. Okay. Is you train puppies. Within each topic, you can figure out all different kinds of content ideas around that. You have most of it in your head because if you've been doing it for some time, you know what dog parents with puppies struggle with, all the questions that they have, all the different things that they need help with, these problems that they come to you with. Each problem, and this is a little bit, no, it's not that advanced, but it is a little bit more advanced. Each problem can be talked about really in 5 different ways. So, like, one, you can have your overarching topic, which is training puppies. And then each subset of that is a content idea. And each content idea can have 5 or 6 different content, right? Like, there's so much that you can go deeper with instead of wide. And the reason why you don't want to have like 6 or 7 or 10 different topics, even though we think in our heads, like, no, I need to talk about this, I need to talk about that, is no, again, you want to find who your ideal person is. Maybe as a dog trainer, all you do is train puppies. Maybe your 3 topics are all centered around training puppies. Maybe it's leash training, not barking when people knock at the door, and public walks. I don't know. I'm not a dog trainer. Maybe those are your 3 topics. And then under every single topic, you have a variety of questions and concerns that people come to you with, where you can create all different kinds of content about. The reason we're going deep on these 3 topics is because you want to be known for something specific. For me, for Clear Voice Media, although it's taken 6 months to figure it out, it's like, I know the topics that I want to talk about. I talk about generating leads on social media with video content and creating community, right? Like, those are 3 of the main topics that I have that I talk about. Why do I talk about that? Because I was able to generate 7 figures in leads and sales over 10 years through social media. So I have experience with that. And when I say social media, I specifically mean Facebook and YouTube. Okay. The other thing that I talk about a lot now is video. I am not a person with a video background. Like, I literally learned it just by doing it. In 2018, I decided I need to do more video content because I listened to someone who said, do more video content. So I learned everything that I possibly could, right? And now that's something that I can offer to other business owners. I can film them. I can help them create a strategy around that. I can teach you how to do it as a person with no background, And then I talk a lot about community too, because I've built multiple communities online, 30,000 people plus, right? Actually, more than that at this point, but like, I've built online communities that I've generated a lot of business from. I've built in-person communities with other business owners at my previous career. Like, I've done all these things. And those are the 3 main topics that I have now as a business owner. And all the content I create follows one of those topics. So I touched on this a little bit, but this is how we're actually going to figure out what content to make. And one of the most important things that you can do as a business owner is focus on people's problems. And you might think to yourself, Sean, why am I going to be focusing on people's problems? It's because when they have problems, that's when they hire an expert. It's so simple when you think about it. I do not do my own taxes. I tried it before when I was still a chef and I didn't have all these things going on, but it was such a pain in the ass. Like I didn't have any background in doing it. So it was a huge problem for me to be a business owner and to do my own taxes. So I decided to hire it out, right? I had a problem. I couldn't do it myself. I hired a professional. Your clients come to you all the time with their problems. You know of all of their problems, right? And if you don't know of all the problems, you can go to AI and put in the right prompts to figure it out. But those problems, they really turn into the topics for you. So your 2 to 3 core areas, right? And what I mentioned before, you can have one problem and talk about it 4, 5, or 6 different ways. And that's the sauce for me, right? Like you can focus on, if say you have a list of 25 problems that your clients or potential clients come to you with or will come to you with. And then from there, you can talk about it in 5 different ways. That's 120. Oh my gosh, why can't I do math? 125 different pieces of content, right? 125 different pieces of content. That's amazing. And that's what turns into the content, your stories, your long form videos, your short form videos, your contrarian takes, your written post. Like that is where you come up with the content ideas from. It all starts with their problems. What's the core message that ties all of your topics together, And it's the problems that your clients face. It is really that simple. It seriously is. And one of the biggest mistakes that business owners make is all they do is create content about their services and their features. Like that's it. They're a photographer and all they post content about are their mini sessions or their long sessions or whatever session that they're offering. Instead of saying something like, I've helped 250 families with family photography over the past 5 years. And the one thing that they say to me is that I never thought I was going to love having professional photos taken of our family that I can look at every single day. Thank you. Right? Like that's a problem that people sometimes they don't even realize they have that problem. And that's another insight is like a lot of times people don't even realize that they have the problem. Sometimes they're problem aware, sometimes they're not problem aware, right? Like who thinks that they need family photos? Well, here's the thing. You have everything on your phone, but imagine getting that piece of your kids when they're 8 and 5. Everyone looks beautiful and it's just hanging on your wall that you see because you're not going into your phone and looking at the photos every day, right? So like the problems turn into the topics, which turns into the content. And that becomes like the core message. And you tie it all together in your posts. And you can tie this all in together into one statement. I help blank achieve Y when they're going through X, right? When you have a positioning statement as a business owner that says, I help struggling business owners who are not generating leads and sales from social media by helping them think of a strategy and execute at a high level that brings them more money, right? Like at the end of the day, as business owners, we generally just want to make more money, but we need to figure out what our positioning statement is so that we can figure out, this is what I'm going to be working towards. This is who I help, what I help them do, and the outcome that they want to achieve. So earlier I talked about your origin story and how you are the only person who has experienced life as you have. You are the only person that can uniquely talk about your life leading up to where you are right now. Well, in the same vein, video is the unfair advantage, right? Because your origin story is your unfair advantage if you can use it correctly, but then video is an unfair advantage right now. Right now, you have to start being on video. Video will win because when people see you, when they hear you, and they feel you before they call, that sales call doesn't even turn into a sales call. Trust me, from years of putting out long form video content where people got to know me, they got to see my face, they heard how I talked, they heard the passion that was in my voice when I was creating content, and they could feel it, right? And they knew like I was an actual real person. It sold itself before they called. That's what happened because so many people would call me and not, tell me to sell them. They would just say, Sean, how do I work with you? How do I work with you? This is I watched your videos, like I built that trust with them faster than anything else that I have ever done. Pictures don't do justice. Written words don't work as well. Voice, maybe if you're doing a podcast, but them seeing you like this, hearing you talk and communicate in the way that you communicate, that builds trust faster than any other format, right? And for the most part, even still right now, like your competitors are just not doing it. Or if they are doing it, they're doing it badly, right? They're just taking their phone and they're walking around on a job site and everything's shaky, or they're pointing it up like, right? Like if you can figure out how to clearly articulate and communicate what you do in such a way that people can trust you and they can go deep with you, you're going to set yourself apart from almost everyone else. And again, you get these pre-qualified leads. They already know that they like you, right? If somebody, I can't even tell you how many times somebody reached out, booked an appointment with me from watching my YouTube videos, and they said, I watched a bunch of your videos. I don't like you. I just wanted to call you. Like, right? That doesn't happen. They watch a ton of your videos and they book an appointment with you because they want you to help them. That's it. Like, that's how long form video works. Okay. It's the closest thing to meeting you without actually meeting you in person. And I love it. So long form video, in my opinion, is the best way to build trust. Short form video is the best way for reach and to get in front of more people. Because look, when it comes to long form video, it's difficult to reach more people. Okay. And long form video does the best on YouTube. And YouTube is an absolute beast, and trying to figure it out is very challenging. But, you as a business owner, as a service business owner who's looking to get local clients in your area, you can create a YouTube channel, right? Where you go deep with all these different topics that your clients are struggling with. And you can share all the experience and the knowledge you have, share the results, share the wins, share the losses. Like you can go deep on that. You can put it on YouTube and you can direct clients there, right? If you're in a Facebook group and someone's posting and they're asking for recommendations for a real estate agent. This is what I did. I had a playlist of videos all about what it was like to live in the area that these people were looking to buy a home in, cost of living, local schools, what it's like, local coffee shops, all that stuff, right? I had this playlist. And when they would say, hey, I'm looking for a real estate agent, 150 people would comment and say, I'm a real estate agent, or I know this person. I would DM them, send them this playlist, and then I would automatically separate myself, right? Like you can do that same thing in your business. I don't care if you're a personal trainer, a photographer, financial advisor, dog trainer. Like you should be creating long form content because it helps build trust faster. Short form content, again, that's going to help you reach more people because short form gets pushed out more. YouTube Shorts, Reels on Facebook and Instagram, those type of things, that's going to get in front of more people. So short form is more for reach. Long form is more for building trust. This is important too. Simple video that actually works. Like here's what you need to get started. You need a phone. You need decent lighting, which I get from lights back here. I also have lights set up in my office studio. You can literally sit in front of a light. It's very simple with your phone, quiet space, and something important to say that talks to everything we mentioned earlier, talks about their problems, talks about the things that they're frustrated with and how you can help them, how you can help them get over whatever hump it is. Like You don't need a fancy camera, right? You don't need $1,000 Sony camera. You don't need a professional studio. You don't need perfect editing or even a script, right? You don't have to script out everything you want to say. You can do all those things, right? Like I have the fancy camera now. I have a pretty decent studio. I'm not perfect with editing, but I do a pretty good job, or hire someone to do it, because here is the reality. Done is better than perfect 1,000 days out of the year, okay? Done is better than perfect. Your phone is so powerful right now. Even the microphone in your phone is still good. And that's probably one of the most important things that I'm going to say about simple video is just make sure the audio sounds good. Like if you have to buy a $20 lapel mic, $30 lapel mic, like it's the mic that just goes here, it literally plugs into your phone. There's a receiver that plugs in, and then you have the actual mic that clips onto your shirt. Audio is so important, but you don't need all that fancy gear. And what's working right now, especially with business owners, is down to earth, simple video, solving problems that people have that they either know or they don't know. You don't need all this fancy shit to get started. Like start simple and then build up from there. All right. Now we're going to focus on platforms and where to actually show up. This is super important, and everyone needs to hear this. If this is the only thing you take away, one platform rule. It's the one platform rule, right? A scattered approach is 5 platforms, which content, no momentum. It's going to lead to burnout, no results. I had a conversation with a business owner who needed help with video content and then distributing that video content. Now she had a very, very strong community built on Facebook already, right? And she wanted to create video content, and she wanted to be on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. That is the scattered approach, and that does not work for 99% of business owners. Unless you have a 5-figure budget, a team, and all these resources behind you. Like you're not Alex Hormozy, you're not Gary Vee, you're not the big company in your area with 100 employees that can have a media team, right? Like generally you are a 1 or 2 person team. That's it. And you're handling everything yourself, right? When it comes to social media, the one platform rule is the absolute most important thing you can do, because if you're focused, you focus on one single platform and go deep there. You create great content, it builds momentum, and that equals authority and then actual results, right? Like I listen to so many people talk on YouTube about creating content, and it's all like centered around the creator community, the creator economy, right? Like we're business owners. We're not creators. We might create something, but like the idea that we're YouTubers or TikTokers or Facebookers or Instagrammers, like, no, we just create content and put it on these social platforms so we can generate leads and sales. But you want to go deep on one platform because it helps you to stay focused, and you want to go deep on the platform where your customer already is. Like that's the key for connection, in my opinion. For local service business owners, Meta, Facebook, and Instagram are the best places to be. Your local clients are already there. You know, if you're watching this, I guarantee, put your hand up if you've gotten business from Facebook after posting on it. Like your local clients are already there. If you think about the majority service businesses, take home service businesses. The majority of people who own homes are millennials, Gen X, and boomers. They are all on Facebook. They're not all on Instagram. A lot of them are, but they're all on Facebook. You know where they're at? They're in groups too, local groups about whatever area that you live in, mom groups, dad groups, whatever groups, right? Like they're there. Any, dog groups in the areas. And the groups are amazing because that's where you build community. And I love creating Facebook groups because that's how you build a real strong presence and real strong business brand in the area. And video content gets pushed out organically. And I love this too. This aspect of it is so important when it comes to creating connection, especially on Facebook. I talk about Facebook the most besides YouTube. And I just repurpose content to Instagram, but Instagram is a different beast too, right? Like different content really does well on Instagram that might not do well on Facebook. I know they're owned by the same company, but they are different. Different content does well on Instagram than it does on Facebook. And you have to be mindful of that too. Like, I know I cross post and I could be more specific to Instagram or to Facebook, but I know that for the most part, I generate 90% of my business from YouTube and Facebook, right? And a small percentage from Instagram. You know, when it comes to creating groups and creating real connection, I will highly suggest that you create your own Facebook group. That's where referrals happens. That's where you can keep people actually connected. And I'm going to talk about communities a lot more in the next section coming up. For discovery, YouTube is the king of long form content, okay? YouTube works because people search for solutions. How many times have you had a problem where you wanted to figure it out yourself and then you go to YouTube to figure it out, right? It's the second largest search engine in the world. Content lives there forever. We call it evergreen content, right? Like you can put up a video that gets you leads for years. Like I have videos that still bring me in leads that I created for my previous real estate business like 3 years ago. I still get leads from it. It's because it's on YouTube and it lives there forever. It builds deep trust over time and it positions you as the expert. That's key. I love that. When it comes to long form of content, if you're looking to create authority, we're talking about making 8 to 15 minute videos, okay? And you want to go deep on teaching one thing and show your expertise there, because you don't want to try and talk about 5 different concepts in one video because it gets convoluted. People don't understand what you're saying. You want to be clear. You want to focus on one thing, one major problem, and how to solve that solution. And then you can repurpose that into short form content. That's what so many creators do. Like we do want to take from the creator space as business owners, but as you know, focusing on creating leads and sales, it's like, okay, if I make a 15-minute video, I want to be able to break that down into 5 or 7 or 10 different short form ideas where I can then repurpose it. Because here's the thing, YouTube is for discovery and Meta is for connection, and they both work together, right? And there's a lot of nuance behind it where, you know, you don't want to share YouTube links on Facebook because Facebook won't push out that content anymore. So, you know, and then on YouTube side is like they want you on the platform for a long time. Like their number one thing is watch time. They want you to be on their platform for as long as possible. So you have to be creating content that's going to keep attention and keep people on the platform. So they don't want you to put Facebook links in your content either, or direct them off of the platform, right? So there's a lot of different nuance and stuff. And, you know, this isn't a video to talk specifically about these platforms like in depth, but just a high level overview. Long form builds the authority. They discover you on YouTube, and then you can bring them into a Facebook community to create further connection with them. So here is a very simple conversion path. They see you by discovering your content. Generally, you know, whatever you decide to do, even if you're creating long form content, you can absolutely put that on Facebook too. And that can live on your Facebook business page. It might not have the discoverability like YouTube does, but it's going to get in front of the right people if you create the content that they're actually interested in. Like you can absolutely do well by putting long form content on Facebook. And I do suggest that you do that as well, because people will discover you. They'll go and click on your Facebook page. And if you have great content, they'll watch, they will engage, they will comment, they're going to follow, they're going to interact, they'll subscribe to you on YouTube, they'll like your business page. And then eventually they are going to DM you. They're going to click your Calendly link and schedule an appointment with you. They're going to text you, they're going to call you, right? Like, you need to understand the conversion path, because with what I teach business owners to do, it is not paying for ads, right? Like we're not paying for leads. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that at all. You know, I'm not anti-ad at all. I am just way more pro creating organic content, you know, that serves a really deep purpose, if that makes sense. Like, I want you to create long form content that serves a deep purpose that people can come back to time and time again when they need help, right? Because it's all about creating community. Like, everything that we do as business owners is about creating community and sustainability, because we want to be doing this for a long time, right? We don't just want to throw things out there and think like, okay, people are just going to contact me. Like, no, it's the repeated content that you put out time and time again that touches on those topics, that serves the same person over and over, right? Like, you're not going to create content for social media for a month and get like 50 leads. If you want to pay for that, and you want to pay someone to run ads for you, you could probably get more leads. Actually, you definitely will get more leads, but they're not going to be nearly as pre-qualified. Almost every person that reached out to me through YouTube wanted to work with me. They were ready. They were way more qualified than any lead that I ever got paying for ads on Facebook or even Google, right? So it's really important to understand that conversion path and understand like how long it actually takes. It could take a few months before you get your first lead, but you have to put in that time and effort. All right, now is one of the most fun things and fun parts of all of this, and it's creating community. And I love it because Facebook groups have been my jam for some time now, and they build serious relationships that converts. Look, when you hear people talk about followers, or even me when I say audience, what I really mean to say is community, right? Like, replace followers or audience with community. Followers are numbers on a screen. That's it. Passive consuming, they might like something, they might engage, they probably won't. You actually end up getting low engagement, and it's vanity metrics. And so many business owners will pay a company because they say, oh, I'll get you 10,000 followers in 30 days. So what? What does that mean? Very rarely do you see a business page, a local business page with 10,000 followers where they're all buying from that person. Like, that doesn't happen. But community, going deep, people who know you, they engage actively. You build trust and connection with them. And they are actually people who will do business with you, right? Like, my Facebook communities, one of them has almost 23,000 members and the other one almost 8,000 members now, right? Like, these people know who I am. And as a real estate, when I was active in being a real estate agent, I was able to get a lot of leads and close a lot of business from those communities, right? They knew what I did. I showed up. People would DM me if they were looking to buy or sell. If people posted recommendations, I had people that were coming in the comments and suggesting me. I was going in the comments, DMing them, right? And now it's like changing that perception from real estate agent to, hey, I help business owners with their social media, with video production that actually brings them leads into their business. So like changing over has been a little bit more difficult for me, but that's okay. Everything takes time, and I understand that. Like, but the community aspect of this is so important. It's so important as a business owner, because you want to really dive deep into a Facebook group strategy. And here is what is very interesting about this. Like, your group is not about your business. It's about what your ideal clients care about. Okay. If you have a financial advisor or financial services, you're not going to be creating the group and have it called John's Financial Services. Like, this example is actually from a friend of mine whose name is John, and he's a financial advisor. So he didn't create a group called John's Financial Services. He created a group called Get Financially Free. So it's business adjacent, and people join before they even know what you do, right? And why? It's because they're interested in becoming financially free. They want to become debt free. They want to stop spending money on stupid shit and focus on, okay, how do I build a budget? How do I stick to a budget? How do I invest the right way, right? And when they join that group, they get all that information from John. Now, I've been trying really hard to get him to do more video, but it's hard, but he's been doing a great job, and he gets leads from it on a very consistent basis. Okay. Very consistent. I helped him with, he started it years ago before we met, posting very consistently. He wasn't getting much from it. It grew. He's almost at 2,000 people, but it was all like basic surface level stuff. I sat down with him, helped him create a strategy. He's been posting way more interesting information, getting way more engagement, and actually getting more leads that's turning into clients from it, right? Like Facebook groups are so underrated for business owners. It is wild. It is so wild how underrated it is and how very, very, very few people talk about it. It's crazy because there's so much opportunity there, right? Here's another piece of it that I absolutely love that honestly, I just thought about this within the past few months. And it's the another angle that nobody talks about. Like Facebook groups aren't just for getting new clients. They're for staying connected with past clients. How many times have you wanted to stay in touch with the past client, but maybe you felt weird sending them a text or sending them an email or giving them a call because like in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, I know if I reach out to this person, they're probably just going to think that I'm only interested in them referring me business. Like a lot of times we do business with people and we don't become friends with them. We like them or we don't. But a lot of people we like, and sometimes we become friends with them and stay in touch. But the reality is we don't. So this is a great way to get past clients in your group and current clients too, especially if you are in the type of business where you work with someone on a weekly or monthly basis, getting them in the group as well. You know why? Because past clients equals referrals without even asking. Imagine making a post and in this group where your past clients are a part of it and they join in, they're like, yeah, John helped me. Yeah, Sean helped me. I was here and now I'm here, right? Imagine someone asking for that service. They don't realize you're a financial advisor. Imagine them being in this group saying, hey, I'm looking for a financial advisor. John leads the group. That's repeat business, right? It's like your best form of marketing. The best form of marketing still is word of mouth. Social media is great, but word of mouth is still amazing. And it's how you stay visible to people who already know you. They already love you. They already trust you. They already believe in what you do, right? Like this is why community is so stinking important. And this is why I love being or creating Facebook communities. There are other platforms out there where you can create communities. I know they're good. I'm part of them. School is one of them. I don't know all the other ones, but like you can create communities there. But Facebook is the least friction because so many people are already on Facebook, right? Like if you think about your potential client, your potential client for the most part as a service business owner are people generally with money. And right now, millennials, Gen X, and boomers are the ones with the most money. They're all on Facebook, and it's easy for them to join this community and to be part of the group. It's your job to show up, though, and post in it consistently and be helpful, right? Here's something really important when it comes to starting your Facebook group. You have to have membership questions. Your membership questions are lead qualifiers. They are lead generators, right? The three questions that every new member should answer is one, what brought you here? Because that tells them their interest. What do they want to know, right? And from what they want to know, from why they're joining it, you can create content around that. You can serve them in that way, and then you can ask them what's your biggest challenge with whatever topic it is. That tells you what their pain is, what they're dealing with, what they need help with. And then the third thing is emails, right? There's a way you can structure it where you can ask for emails where it's not salesy. It's not slimy. It's like, hey, if you're interested in being on my email list where I can send you more stuff, you can be part of my newsletter that I give out that I might not put here. It's, I put out more different content on email than I do here. And it's optional. You don't have to do it, right? Because you want to start building your list. And then that way, that all these members are pre-qualified before they join. You can keep a running tab of what brought them here, what their biggest challenges are, right? You have 10 people that join, 10 people answer that question, those two questions. That's 20 different things you can talk about in the next 3 weeks. And having your own email list is critical as a business owner. It is critical because these platforms can go away. The algorithms can change. They can stop pushing your content out. But if you have an email list, that goes with you everywhere. No matter what platform you use, if you have that email list, that is going with you everywhere you go. If Facebook shut down tomorrow with your 10,000 people on there and your community group of 30,000 people, right? If you have emails, you can take those emails and still be in contact with your people. Another reason why I love communities is because you're able to stay visible without being annoying. And that's like one thing that we think about as business owners all the time. Is like, I don't want to be annoying, right? But you can do this without being annoying. You respond thoughtfully to different comments. When people make posts, you can respond thoughtfully to them. It's not just sales, sales, sales. Like you actually help them in the comments. And then when other comments come in, like my pages now, they run without me having to post. People post all the time looking for recommendations, talking about this, talking about that. Other people chime in. You get to ask questions back, you create conversations, and you stay on their radar naturally. Because here's the thing, people, they don't care about your business. Sorry. They care about you when they need you, but for the most part, they don't care. But if you have a community created around a shared thing that everybody can get behind, right? That's how you can stay in touch naturally without being annoying, right? They don't just like and move on. It's not one-way broadcasting and just answering and disappear, and then you're doing all these cold DM pitches. Like that's old. That's the old way to do things. And here's the reality. They're not going to be ready today, but when they are, they know where to go. They know where you are. They know that you can help them, and that's the goal. All right, now we're going to dive into the execution, when and how you can actually show up. So I believe this in the core of me, especially when it comes to creating content, that sustainability outweighs perfection any day of the week, right? So perfect content, what you think is perfect, is sporadic posting and leads to burnout cycles, and there's long gaps in between. There's no momentum. You think you have to do all of these things exactly right 100% of the time. You have to have the best this, the best that. And when you lead with perfection, you just end up not doing it. But sustainability and like building a sustainable rhythm where you show up consistently, you have a maintainable pace, which builds over time and compounds, right? Like, I'm not saying that you need to post every single day of the week, because for a lot of people, that's very difficult to do. A lot of business owners like you, it's difficult to post every single day of the week. Sometimes you can, I can do it, but my business is different, right? But it's hard to maintain that over time. So pick something that is a sustainable rhythm. If it's 3 days a week, then it's 3 days a week. If it's 5 days, then it's 5 days, right? Just build up to where you want to be, because the person that does it sustainably and shows up consistently or frequently, they're the ones that are going to win over time. So like, think about it right now. Like, what frequency could you actually maintain for the next 12 months? That's it. Or even for the next freaking month. Just post 3 times a week for the next month. And I want to explain something about consistency and frequency. Frequency is how many times you do the thing over a week or a month. Posting 5 times a week, posting 7 times a week, or 3. Consistency is the message that you put out over time. That's what people get wrong a lot about consistency. They're like, oh, I got to show up consistently. It's like, you got to show up and be frequent, but consistency is the message. If you are a financial advisor and you're talking about investing once and then buying a car next and then buying a house next and then investing in crypto, right? Like, if you're all over the place, right? Like, you want to be consistent with your message. That's the most important thing when it comes to consistency. So once you figure out how many times you can actually post weekly, you want to break it down into a system. And think about it like this. How often are you posting now, and is it sustainable? If you're not posting at all, the answer is no, that's not sustainable. You got to get started. If you're posting 3 times a day, 7 days a week, is that sustainable? No, you have a business to run, right? And what causes you to actually miss posting? Like, what are those things that show up all the time where you miss doing what you should be doing when it comes to creating content and posting on social media? Think about, would batching content actually help? If you sat down on Monday when things are fresh in your head, before the week gets away from you with all the fires you're putting out, could you consistently create 3, 4, 5 pieces of content and just schedule them? That's something to really think about, right? And what's the minimum that you can maintain without resenting what you're doing? Because a lot of times we have bold dreams where we're going to post 2 times a day, 7 days a week, 3 times a day. And then it's just like, this just sucks. This isn't working. And a lot of times as business owners, we don't have to do that. Like, we're not playing the creator game where you have to constantly be posting, and be in the algorithm and always be showing up with content that's half done, right? Like, the best system is the one that you're actually going to do, hands down. And that's the same thing with most content systems in general, right? People say, "Oh, what's the best platform to use?" The best one's the one you're going to use consistently. What's the best way to film? Well, are you gonna go out and buy a camera and not use it? Just use your phone. The best system is the one that you're actually going to do and you're actually going to use. This is important to think about as well. Things will fall apart. Life happens, right? Like, you're not a robot, you're not a machine. The kids get sick, your wife gets sick, your husband gets sick, like, everyone gets sick, something happens. You're going to have all these different fires to put out. And when things happen, here's how you start focusing on getting back on track. You don't have to apologize publicly. Just start again, because most people are not paying attention. Don't apologize publicly. "Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't posted in a week." Nobody cares, man. Don't do that. All you have to do is start over again and lower the bar temporarily. One post one time a week is better than zero posts for the month. We're talking about 4 posts for the month would be better than zero. Like, lower the bar. If you had a goal that you set and life showed up, life happened, whatever got in the way, it's okay. Just lower it temporarily, right? And then post as much as you can before getting back to where you want to be. Review what caused the gap and fix the system, right? Sometimes things get in the way and we just don't realize that if we planned it out ahead of time, it would have been easier to maintain. If we planned batch content creating Mondays or Fridays or Sundays, whatever it is, instead of trying to do it at the same time every single day, every morning, it would be easier for us to do. So fix and adjust and know your warning signs before the burnout hits. Like, this is critical, man. And this is like one of those things that I truly believe. Like, your content is reflected based on how you feel about yourself. That comes out in everything you put out. If you're going, constantly doing things, you're constantly on, you're always showing up. I fall victim to this all the time. Sometimes I just need to take a step back and be like, I'm not going to post today because my mental health matters more than getting out another freaking piece of content. The goal isn't never failing, but it's figuring out how to get back faster. Like, that's the goal, because things will happen. You are human. It's just a matter of time, right? It's all it is. It's a matter of time before it happens. So, going back to the complete framework, we talked about your audience, know who you're talking to. We talked about your voice, knowing what you stand for, what you stand against. We talked about content, which is critical, right? Because we're creating content as business owners to bring in leads and sales. We talked about the platforms and where you should show up, where your clients are. We talked about creating community and the execution. And look, the strategy is so important. Okay. It's so important. Framework, strategy, whatever you want to call it. Like, you need something to follow on a consistent basis. If you don't have this, it's going to be very difficult for you to stay like active and doing the damn thing, right? So I want to break it down for you. Very easy. It's your 30-day launch plan. You could probably get it done quicker than 30 days if you use AI. But if you want to take your time, week one is you're going to figure out who your audience is, like who you want to build your community up to, like who is that ideal person that you want in there, and what is your voice, like voice clarity, right? That's why I came up with the name Clear Voice Media, because I help people with their social media, finding their clear voice, finding who they're talking to. Week two is the content topics and the platform choice. These are probably a lot easier than what you think. Week three is your community strategy and creating your Facebook group. And then week four is executing it, adjusting, keep going, figure it out. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Do not fall for the perfect trap. Just get started. So if you haven't downloaded the strategy worksheet, then do that. Go in, it's in the description. Download it now. Answer the questions for your business, not for somebody else's. I know it sounds weird, but answer them for you. Do the best you can to your ability. Start creating from strategy, right? Like, you don't have to guess anymore. And that is one of the most freeing things, is to realize, like, I don't have to guess at this anymore because for the most part, I know you're probably guessing with the content you're putting out, trying to figure it out, right? It's the get against the wall thing. But we're not doing that anymore because we have a strategy and because we took the time to figure out what our business is about. What do we stand for? Where we're going to show up, how we're going to show up, long form video, short form video, written content. Do the damn thing. And if this is all very confusing to you and you want to work with me in building your strategy, then make sure that you reach out. Schedule an appointment with me. Look forward to speaking with you soon.